Pardon me. Good morning, folks. My name is Kurt Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. The purpose of the first appearance hearing is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I'll determine if there's probable cause for those charges. Probable cause simply means that it's more likely than not that a crime has occurred, and more likely than not that you're the person who committed that crime. Of course, as you stand before me this morning, I presume that you're innocent of these charges. That presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings, unless and until the State Attorney's Office can prove the allegations against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. We'll set your conditions of pretrial release this morning, that is your bail or your bond. In most cases, you've had a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit, or the warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be. If you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I'll gladly appoint the PD to represent you this morning. You do have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you have not had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, there is an assistant state attorney in the courtroom with me. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. I now need each and every one of you there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn. Do y'all solemnly swear or affirm, tell truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth? Outstanding. When you hear your name called, please step forward to the podium. Erica Carter. Well, Ms. Carter, what's your date of birth?
May 17th, 97.
Ms. Carter, you're here on a warrant that Judge Rupi signed. She found probable cause for a violation of probation. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Myself.
Okay. All right. The bond on the warrant is no bond. I'm not going to change that. I'm going to change the date. Looks like you have an open case already in front of Judge Rupi, so we'll send you back to see her on April 19th. That's where your other case is, and you can see about getting your cases resolved then, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Connie Galitko. Want to miss what's your date of birth?
May 15th, 1990.
Okay. And Connie, this morning I have 3 charges. I have possession of marijuana, possession of drug paraphernalia, and driving on a suspended license. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself, going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
A public defender?
I'll appoint the PD. State, what can you tell me?
Your Honor, so in December of 2017, there was a petty theft. That's the only history I have.
Okay.
Your Honor, she's currently on probation.
Okay.
18 MM 240 for possession of marijuana,
Okay.
January 31st, and a petty theft, January 31st. And
Okay.
a warrant will be forthcoming.
Very good. Connie, I have an address for you on Sharon Street in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you lived there?
Since the beginning of the year.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
I work at Sunoco.
Okay. And Ms. Nettie, who put her on probation?
Excuse me?
Who put her on probation?
You do.
Me?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Connie, what I'm going to do is leave the bonds for the arrest affidavit, which is $1,000 on each count. That's a total of $3,000. I've just been informed that you're currently on misdemeanor probation, and that means that those folks are going to swear out an affidavit, and a violation of probation warrant is going to be issued early next week. The bond on that warrant will be no bond. If you spend money bonding out on these charges now, you will likely lose that money because you're going to get rearrested sometime next week on the VOP warrant. I'm not telling you can't bond out. I'm just letting you know that ahead of time because the VOP warrant is definitely coming. These charges will be back in court on the 2nd of May. If you do bond out, it's important that you contact the public defender's office. If you do not bond out, they're going to come see you at the jail, all right?
Okay.
Thank you. Laura Green. Morning, Ms. Green. What's your date of birth?
10/28/61.
Ms. Green, I have 3 warrants for you this morning. Each of them was signed by Judge Merritt. In each case, he found probable cause for violation of probation. As to those charges, do you wish to represent yourself? You can hire private counsel. Or would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the public defender. The bond I use for these warrants is no bond. I can't change that. I will send all these cases back to Judge Merritt on May 1st. The public defender will come see you at the jail before you go back to court, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Courtney Michaelis. Morning, Miss. What's your date of birth?
9/30/82.
Courtney, you're here on a warrant that was signed by Judge Toner. He found probable cause for a violation of probation. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You can hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender, please.
Appoint the PD. Bond on the warrant is no bond. I can't change that. I'm going to change your date. Looks like they told you May 1st. I'm going to have you back on the 23rd of April. Public defender will come see you before then, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Margaret Morgan. Morning, Miss Morgan. What's your date of birth?
7/16/80.
Margaret, I've got 7 counts of burglary of a conveyance. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD, State.
Your Honor, it looks like there's nothing out of Florida. In 2002, out of Missouri, I think, there was a passing of a bad check. 2007, possession of marijuana, a misdemeanor. It's also endangering welfare of a child, first degree. It was a felony. 2008, felony, passing of a bad check. 2014, a DWI, drug intoxication. 2016, shoplifting. All those appear to be out of Missouri.
All right. Miss Morgan, where you been staying lately?
At Tampa Inn.
Okay. How long have you been staying there?
We moved to Tampa in January.
Okay. And you've been, before that, you were in Missouri?
Yes, sir.
So you've only been here for 3 months?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have a job here in Florida?
I clean a gas station every day.
Okay. What gas station?
Senecal in Tampa. It's right there by Busch Gardens.
I'm going to leave your bonds per the schedule, which is $10,000 on each count for a total of $70,000. I'll have you back in court on the 1st of May. If you're able to get out, you should contact the PD right away. Otherwise, they're going to come see you at the jail, all right?
All right. Thank you.
Why?
Shannon Vivino. Want to miss what's your date of birth?
1/30/84.
Shannon, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Toner. He found probable cause for a violation of community control. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'll appoint the PD. Bond on the warrant, of course, is no bond. I can't change that. I am going to send you back to court on the 23rd of April. Looks like they told you the 1st of May. You'll be back on the 23rd. PD is going to come see you before then, okay? Thank you. John Balmer. Morning, John. What's your date of birth?
February 25th, 64.
John, this is a probable cause arrest for violation of probation. There is probable cause for the VOP. It looks like you were sentenced in Citrus County and being supervised here. Is that correct?
Correct.
The bond, of course, is going to be no bond. I can't change that. What we'll do then is notify Citrus County that you're here and ready to go. They will have 5 days to come and get you. It doesn't take 5 days with Citrus, but if for some bizarre reason you're still here in 5 days, they're going to bring you back to see me, and I'll find out what the holdup is, all right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Randall Brooks.
Morning, sir.
Morning, Mr. Brooks. What's your date of birth?
1782.
Mr. Brooks, you're also here on the 7 counts of vehicle burglary. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender, sir.
Pardon me?
Public defender, sir.
Very good. I'll appoint the PD. State what detail.
Well, Judge, it's the 6th.
Okay, give me the last few years.
Let's see. There is from January of this year, it looks like there was a possession of cocaine out of Fort Lauderdale and a possession of marijuana. And they're driving on a suspended license. And then there were out-of-county warrants for felonies. In May of 2017, out of Maitland, you have a felony driving on a suspended license, obstruction, and false identification given to law enforcement. 2015, there was an extradition warrant out of Collier County. This was out of Maryland. This was the fugitive warrant. 2012, fleeing from a law enforcement officer. Looks like he was in custody. He was in prison in 2015. 2012, and that was out of Pinellas that Twin Elude happened. 2011, burglaries, auto burglaries. There was an evidence tampering, introduction of contraband, larceny, grand theft, linked to elude.
Okay, that's good. Randall, I have an address for you, Northwest 4th Avenue in Fort Lauderdale. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
About 10 years, sir.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
I'm looking at AFG, auto detailing.
That's in Broward County?
In Fort Lauderdale, yes, sir.
Okay. I'll do the same thing with you. I'm going to leave the bonds for the arrest affidavit, which is $10,000 for each count, for a total of $70,000. I'll have you back in court on the 1st of May. If you get out, make sure you contact the PD right away. Otherwise, they'll come see you at the jail, okay?
All right.
Thank you. Thomas Canariato. Morning, Thomas. What's your date of birth?
July 27th, 1982.
Thomas, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Merritt. Apparently, you failed to appear in his court on 2 counts of possession of a controlled substance, 1 count of possession of marijuana, 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia. As to those charges, you're going to represent yourself, you're going to hire private counsel, or would you like the public defender?
Public defender, I already have.
Okay. I'll appoint the public defender. The bond on the warrant is $4,000 for each of the 2 felonies, and $1,000 for each of the 2 misdemeanors, for a total of $10,000. I can't change that. We'll send you back to see Judge Merritt on the 1st of May, and very important that you contact the public defender's office if you get out, okay? Thank you. Cletus Jones. Morning, Mr. Jones. What's your date of birth?
11/12 of '88.
Mr. Jones also have those 7 counts of vehicle burglary this morning. There is probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you're going to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD state.
Yes, Your Honor. It appears that these are the only charges out of Florida. There is out of Arkansas a residential burglary in 2007 and 2008. There was a resisting. Those look like those were dropped. The resisting with violence and that in 2008. In 2008, there was also criminal mischief, criminal trespass, theft of property. Looks like there was also a commercial burglary that I can't tell what the disposition was on that. And then out of Missouri, 2011, a domestic assault, 2012, another domestic assault, 2017, making a false report.
And Cletus, I'm guessing you just came from Missouri to Florida earlier this year. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
You have a job in Florida?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
I'm a lifeguard at Adventure Island.
All right. I'm going to leave your bonds like I did with the other co-defendants at the $10,000 each count, total of $70,000. Also coming back on the 1st of May. If you get out, contact the PD right away. Otherwise, they're going to come see you at the jail. All right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Willie Matthews? Morning, Willie. What's your date of birth? What's your date of birth?
May 24th, 1995.
Well, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Rupie. Apparently, you failed to appear in her court on a charge of driving on a suspended license, and it looks like you're supposed to be in her court today as well.
Yes, at 9 a.m.
We will get you there, Willie. As to this charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire the private counsel, or would you like the public defender?
A public defender.
I'm going to appoint the public defender. I'm going to leave the bond at $500, but then we will have the folks at the jail add you to Judge Rupie's in custody docket later this morning, and we'll send this case over so both of your cases will be there this morning in front of her, okay?
So I'll be able to see her today?
Yep.
Okay.
Very good. All right, and then I understand that Mr. McCarty went to the hospital, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. He was charged with 3 charges: burglary with conveyance, battery, and resisting. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent him and state that he have any significant history.
Your Honor, for some reason I did not get a criminal history on him, so I cannot answer that. I asked my office to print one out. I don't know if the court would like to pass that. I'm still waiting on an answer back from my office with regards to that.
Okay.
He's currently on probation.
Oh, well,
so
there you
warrant
go.
will be coming
There we
out.
go. That takes care of that.
That helps.
Yep. So I'll set the bonds for the arrest affidavit, which is $2,000 on the burglary, $2,000 on the battery, and $1,000 on the resisting. The total is $5,000, and we'll have all of those back on the 1st of May, with the condition that he not have contact with the victim. Stephen Norsworthy.
Sir,
Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
9/12/93.
Hang on. 1, 2, 3. All right. Looks like 4 warrants, Stephen, out of Hillsborough County. They're all violations of probation. The bond on those warrants is no bond. I can't change that. We'll let the folks in Hillsborough know you're here and ready to go. I'll give them 5 days to come get you. If you're still here in 5, they'll bring you back to see me, all right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Ryan Traeger. Morning, Ryan. What's your date of birth?
8/26/97.
Ryan, this is a probable cause arrest for violation of probation. There is probable cause for the VOP. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
Appoint the PD be bond on the warrant. Of course, there's no bond. I can't change that. I'll send you back to court on the 1st of May. Public defender will come see you before then, okay?
Yeah.
Thank you. And Reese, shoot.
Your Honor, I'm still attempting to get an answer with regards to that. May I
Okay.
approach you?
Yes. Well, Mr. Shoup, what's your date of birth?
6/24 of 66.
Mr. Shoup, you're here on a charge, warrant actually signed by Judge Toner, who found probable cause for a homicide. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself, you want to hire private counsel, or would you like the public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'll point the PD, state the detail.
Your Honor, he has, looks like there's from 2017, a failure to report for sexual predator requirements. 2015, again, failure to comply. Looks like there was a violation of probation with regards to that. He was in prison in 2009. In 2009, he obtained controlled substance by fraud. Possession, 2009 also possession of a New Legend drug with prescription. 2 counts, possession of paraphernalia, trafficking in oxycodone. Violation of the sexual predator registration. In prison in 2003.
That's perfect. Thank you. Reese, I have an address for you on Broad Street in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
That's where I live, yes, sir.
Do you have a job these days?
No, sir.
State, I'm going to set a bond, given where we are with this.
I'm asking for no bond given the allegations. And if the court would be willing to pass in 5 to 10 minutes, I'll run down to Mr. Marino.
I didn't say I was going to set a small bond.
I understand, I'm just asking.
Right, I understand. And it's, I think I know what it is, but I
I
hesitate
agree.
to find different probable cause than the circuit judge did. So I think we'll be okay, but for today. Reese, I'm going to set your bond at $250,000. Condition of the bond would be GPS monitoring at your expense if you were to bond out. The case will be back on the 1st of May. The public defender will come see you at the jail before that court date, okay?
Sir.
Thank you. Thanks, folks.
Let them know.
Yep.
9:25.